Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We hope you are having a fantastic weekend or weekday, whenever you're tuning in to this wonderful football show slash podcast slash hour and a half, 2 hours of dumb assery. I'm your host, as always, Lob City. I am happy to bring you another episode of Football Stooges. Today we're covering the Week 5 of the XFL, as well as predicting Week 6. We're going to take a look at some of the more recent free agency moves, since we did a big kind of early free agency recap last week, and we'll take a look at the AFC East's off-season wrap-up, grade, and what they should look forward to in the draft, as well as the rest of free agency. I cannot do this alone, and with me are the four compadres in Stoogery. As always, we'll start out with the one and only Philly man himself, who is probably in a mild depressive episode because the Flyers stink bad. They stink bad. Mastodon.
Oh yeah, Flyers been shit for some time now, but I can make a better uniform colors than Dan Snyder could ever do.
A hot take, honestly, the commies colors / they used to be the Redskins colors. They've never been insanely good except their white uniforms, honestly. They've never been insanely, good looking. The maroon and yellow is kind of to me, but it is what it is. I'm not making the decisions. Next up, the one and only Chicago fan, still rocking the high of the news of Aaron Rodgers leaving the Green Bay Packers. Mamba.
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Doing good. Next up, the one and only Gorlami.
Heyo.
Cheers. Cheers. I'll drink to that. Drink, not spill, goddammit. All right, and last but certainly not least, the resident Patriots fan and free agency expert, K-Duff.
You know how we bullied Gorlami about the Packers last week? I feel like it's going to be happening with the Patriots this week.
Yeah. Again,
yeah, but the Patriots suck now, so I don't care.
Say with me, ladies and gentlemen, free agency taketh, or free agency giveth, and free agency taketh away. Amen.
Get it right, damn it.
Oh, man. Praise be. Yeah. The free agency has taketh away a lot from you. But hey, you might get, the Jets' first-round draft picks for the next 70 years. That's totally possible. Oh, right. Let's get
Imagine what you can get for a 39-year-old man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. All right. That's basically the show in a nutshell. Let's get it rolling anyway. We'll start with the XFL this week. Going into Week 5. Wow. Goddamn.
Where do we begin?
First game was a Thursday night game that we didn't predict, and that we were all shocked to hear about the current score. This was weird. Houston Roughnecks, who coming into this game were undefeated. They were 4-1 or 4-0. They left 4-1. Seattle put it to them 21-14. Houston only scored 14 in the final period, the fourth quarter. Seattle put up 6 points in the first, 9 in the second, and then another 6 in the fourth to prevent the Houston comeback. This was kind of out of left field. The Seattle Sea Dragons were 500 coming into this game, 2-2, and the Roughnecks were by far the juggernaut of the league. They looked like the best team, kind of on the field. They definitely had a lot of stuff going for them as far as coaching and defense, and their offense was clicking, but Seattle came out of nowhere. So let's break in the stats and see why that was.
Ben DiNucci came to fucking play.
But then I also looked at the three.
That's the thing. He really.
He came to play, baby. 3 interceptions. He came to play.
Gorlami, why don't you jump the gun? Why don't you take the bullet? Go ahead and read the Ben DiNucci stats for me.
All right, Ben DiNucci over here, my boy number 6, the Italian stallion, 17 for 32, 209 yards, 6.5 average. He threw 1 touchdown with a impressive 3 interceptions.
Yeah,
Longest pass was 33 yards, and he got sacked.
Sorry, I was going to say, there was a saving grace on one of those touchdowns. I remember seeing a flashback. He got drilled while throwing one, and it just got picked off in the end zone. So,
yeah.
Just make an excuse for him. Anyways, he got sacked 2 times for 11 yards.
So yeah, this is I mean, this is coming to play if you're, Brett Favre, throwing a ton of picks, 1 touchdown, but still getting the win. So Packers fans again are used to this.
Gunslinger City, baby.
We were not going to go.
It's like he is like a dead horse right now, and I have a baseball bat. Just wham, wham, wham.
I'm laughing through the pain, man. I'm just gonna keep laughing.
Ben DiNucci was also the lead rusher, 4 carries, 33 yards, 8.3 average, and 1 touchdown. The next closest rusher was TJ Hammonds, 4 carries as well, 28 yards, a 7-yard average. Morgan Ellison, 6 carries, 15 yards, and Darius Badewell, 9 carries, 12 yards. DiNucci ran for a touchdown. DiNucci ran for a touchdown, so did Bradwell. Only 88 total yards of rushing for them. For receiving.
Hey, he's still Cade the player, right? Look at those rushing stats.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We get into
4
DC.
for 33. I've seen Leonard Fournette do better than that.
Still probably did better than what you do.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Ja'Cory Pearson, 5 receptions, 82 yards. Damian Willis, the only receiving touchdown recipient of the game, 5 for 61. Jordan Vasey, 2 for 33. Juwan Green, 2 for 17. Josh Gordon, yes, that Josh Gordon, 2 for 15 on 7 fucking targets. Yeah, and then Blake Jackson, the the 1 for 1 for no touchdowns for 1 long and 3 targets. The only fumble was made by one of the running backs, Morgan Ellison. Defensively, they only caused 1 interception and 2 forced fumbles, as well as their sacks were only 3 for a total of 24 yards. So they weren't creating a ton of defensive mishaps. Again, 3 turnovers is not insane amount, but it's also decent. So wasn't anything offensively that kind of stood out. Again, 17 for 32 for 209, 1 touchdown and 3 picks from Ben DiNucci is a game that if you were just look at that stat, you're like, they probably lost. They didn't for some reason. So let's take a look at Wade Phillips' team, the Houston Roughnecks. Brandon Silvers, a whopping 25 for 47 for 277. Yeah, those are Tom Brady type attempts. A 4.8 average, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 3 sack for 24 yards. Rushing, Bryson Aline, 5 for 35. Max Borghi, 6 for 12 and 1 touchdown. Cole McDonald, 1 for 5, and Dejon Lee, 1 for nothing. Receiving, Justin Smith, 3 for 63 and 1 touchdown. Travell Harris, 5 for 58. Dante Burnett, 3 for 35. Ben Putman, 2 for 22. Max Borghi, 5 for 21. Cedric Bird, 5 for 20. Nick Hawley, 1 for 6. Bryson Aline, 1 for 2. And nothing for John Trey Kirkland. 2 fumbles were given up by Brandon Silvers, who was the quarterback as well. That's not great. He only did lose 1 of them, so that was good on his part. At least to recover the 1 that he did, and he only took 3 sacks. So again, this was a very defensive game, and it looks like the Sea Dragons were able to capitalize on what they got when they got it, and were able to punch it in when they needed to. Because again, this was a close game, only 14-21. I'm still kind of shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, a lot of Sea Dragons are out here that they ain't messing around no more.
And he still managed to win. That's that Italian power.
Yeah, you're shocked. You leaked both. Like everyone was.
Power of the Italian stallion, eh?
I'm just thinking one moment during the game, Benucci went through the interception. He goes like, "Get Josh Gordon out of the game." I don't know if you guys heard that. The announcer's like, "Did you guys just hear that?" I need to find a clip of it.
Send him back to hotbox in his car until the game's over.
Yeah, DiNucci seems like that kind of super jockey, jackass, like varsity quarterback that you get that is good, but at the same time is a total dick.
Except he does it with an Italian American accent, so it's like,
he does.
Get the fuck out of here.
I would love it if
so just a basic New Yorker.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. But again, Seattle Sea Dragons advance to 3-2 on the year, get the win 21-14 over the Houston Roughnecks, who fall with their first loss 4-1. So sadly, we will not have a undefeated game for week 6, which would have been Houston versus DC. However, that still should be a good game if Houston can kind of turn around from this weird loss. Next up, another kind of shocker, even though both of these teams are pretty good. St. Louis is still a very good team, but they still lose by 8, 20-28 against DC. DC now the only undefeated team in the XFL out of the 8 teams. They are 5-0 in the season, handing it to the Battlehawks at home.
I told you.
Actually, no, away. Sorry,
they were dog
away.
mentality, bro.
Yeah, they were in St. Louis, not even in front of their like snaking, lemon throwing, beer chugging, insult throwing, profanity saying fans.
Yeah,
I
and again,
could still go over there and out drink them.
I don't.
You
I
go
mean,
do that.
I don't
you
know,
go do
man.
that, Packers fan.
I'll take those DC defenders for a fucking ride.
I mean, Abram Smith already took them for the Battlehawks for a ride. I mean, look at that: 23 yards, 23 carries, 218 yards, 3 tutties.
Fuck.
So yeah, we'll look at rushing first because looking at the quarterback might make me throw up. Number 4, Abram Smith decided to have a field day. 23 carries, 218 yards. He rushed for basically a first down every play. His average was 9.5 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. His longest run, 70 yards. Behind him was the quarterback, Jordan Tamau, 8 for 23. Tamau also had a weird quarterback day. He went 12 for 18, only for 90 yards. His average was 5 yards a pass. His longest was 28. No touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. Interesting.
The DC way.
Yeah, and then Derek King's got to come in and throw one ball. He threw one ball, and it didn't hit the target. So,
but he did get a rushing touchdown. So
he did get a rushing touchdown, yes. So it is what it is. For receiving, Lucky Jackson, 5 for 54. Chris Blair, 2 for 18. Brindley Moore McKinney, 2 for 15. Josh Hammond, 2 for 6. And no one else had over 1 yard of receiving. So 90 yards receiving, 248 yards rushing.
Yeah.
When I first saw this stat line, I had to change my underwear, I think I kind of meant it.
Yeah, I remember watching like the highlights for this game, and I was still like hype as I was watching it live with those 3 touchdowns there.
Vince Lombardi is smiling.
Yeah.
Vince Lombardi is smiling. He's probably grinning from ear to ear. This is insane.
Run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball. We say it every week, and somebody listened, and here we go.
Apparently it was Abram Smith.
Yards.
Took that shit to heart.
Let's quickly look at their defense. It looks like they caused 1 interception and 1 fumble, and they had 5 sacks for 24 total yards. So a decent performance from them, at least sack-wise, as well as a couple turnovers forced. So next up, we'll look at the Battlehawks. Go up. AJ McCarron. We were hoping he was going to kind of trend up. We want him to kind of continue this ability to still be like the top player in the XFL. And this is another, like, I don't know if this is a trend up or down. This is kind of a trend in the same direction where he's not looking insane. He's not looking bad. He's just looking pretty good. Like a normal Joe Flacco. Not the one crazy year or all the bad years, but like just the normal Joe Flacco. 22 for 34, 238, 6.9 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Longest was 50 yards, 5 sacks for 24 yards.
Yeah, his lineman didn't show up that day.
Leading rusher, was Brian Hill, 14 for 79, and Adrian McCarron also ran for 12 yards and 4 carries. For receiving, Hakeem Butler, 9 receptions, 86 yards. Stephen Mitchell, 1 reception, 50 yards for 1 touchdown. Darius Shepard, 3 for 30. Brian Hill, 3 for 29. Austin Prohl, 3 for 29. And Jake Sutherland, 2 for 7. The only fumble was AJ McCarron, who did lose the ball to the defense. Their defense did not cause any turnovers, and they had no sacks. Their defense was sunned. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Smash mouth football handed it to this defense. I didn't watch enough of this game, but this could be a situation where you have a team that has a lot of good O-linemen that like to run block and a good running back, and a defense that is built to stop the pass. Not a ton of good D-linemen, maybe faster D-linemen rather than bigger D-linemen, and they get bowled over, and then it's just downhill running the rest of the day.
Yeah, you basically hit the nail on the head. Like, I watched Abrams just basically bulldoze the shit through that D-line a lot.
And I'm glad someone realized it. I'm glad someone took advantage of a team that like isn't complete, and they realized, hey, we got to run the ball a lot, and they did it, and they won on it, which is incredible to see in today's football. Because in today's football, how many times do you see a team have basically quadruple or over double the amount of rushing yards compared to passing yards? I guess
Tennessee
what's a
Titans.
blue moon? I mean,
Eagles did it to the Packers. Eagles did it to the Packers. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
I thought we were done bullying him, but
I'm sorry. Like,
No, don't put me that close to him. Get that gross Bears fan out of here.
where's my
Back in '85.
You know, back in 1985,
There
Ditka.
you go.
1985.
I got the Evos right here doing one for every NFL team.
All right. So yeah, DC plays a smash mouth football game, 28-20 the final score. They get the win in St. Louis. By the way, who also have like the most attendees of their fans. St. Louis was actually not able to give enough tickets to fans because they wanted to fill the upper deck of their stadium. They were not able to because they didn't have the staff to do it. They are actually at capacity, not just saying they're at capacity. They are at capacity for most of their home games and are not able to get enough staff to be able to have enough people working to be able to seat the upper deck for their team. So that was a packed stadium.
Crazy.
It is. It was a packed
It's pretty
stadium.
impressive, too, considering it's the Rams' old days before they moved out to LA. So,
Well, the Rams had Jeff Fisher, and Jeff Fisher sucked. Like, what are you going to do?
yeah, that's true.
If I had Jeff Fisher as a coach, I'd want my team to leave too. Kind of, maybe.
Hey, great 7-9 season right
Kinda
there.
depressing to think about that. But here's something that will not depress Gorlami: a win for the Vegas Vipers.
Gorlami doesn't have to drink an eighth of vodka. Oh my god.
My liver is safe for another
Congratulations,
week,
your
boys.
only win.
Congratulations.
Your only win. Clap it up.
Hey,
boys.
Tank Bowl.
Clap it up.
Say that about the Bears. We celebrate that for the Bears too. Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
it won't be that anymore for you, baby.
Fight,
All right,
Oh,
fight,
just
fight.
you wait.
Yes,
Just
yes,
you
yes.
wait.
Ladies, you're both pretty. You're both pretty. All right.
Not as pretty as you.
Mom, Dad, please stop fighting.
So the Tank Bowl has concluded. The Orlando Guardians are now 0-5 on the season, falling 32-35 against the now 1-4 Vegas Vipers. Orlando being the only team out of Florida and the only team without a win thus far. It is a sad, sad day to be a Guardians fan. Let's take a look at the stats. We'll start with Paxton Lynch actually came in the game. I don't know what's worse, being Paxton Lynch and getting benched or being Quentin Dormandy and getting benched for Paxton Lynch. Ouch. So starting quarterback was Quentin Dormandy. He went 22 for 25 for 256, 10.2 average, 2 touchdowns, along with 45. It took 2 sacks for 14 yards. Then Paxton Lynch came in the game. He went 5 for 9 for 47 yards for 5.2 average, no touchdowns, no picks. His longest pass was 16 yards, and he also took 2 sacks for 11 yards. Rushing, Jermaine Martin, 9 carries, 36 yards, and 1 touchdown. Devin Darrington, 6 carries, 17 yards, and 1 touchdown. Paxton Lynch also ran for 16 yards and 4 carries. Dedrick Thomas, 3 yards on 3 carries for 15 yards, and Quentin Flowers, 2 for 2. For receiving, Corey Latimer, 8 for 124 and 1 touchdown. An amazing game from him. Charleston Rambo, great name, 5 for 69 and 1 touchdown. Lance Lenore, 5 for 41. Logan Carter, 3 for 31. Eli Rogers, 3 for 19. Dedrick Thomas, 2 for 14. And Jalen Smith, 1 for 5. The only fumble was Quentin Dormandy, who actually recovered his own fumble, didn't lose it to the defense. For the defense, they were able to recover 1 fumble. They created no sacks and actually only 3 tackles for loss as well. So not a great defensive game from Orlando.
Not a good game from Orlando in general. I mean, it was high scoring, but at the same time, they couldn't get the job done.
Moving on to Vegas, Luis Perez, 20 for 28, 269, 3 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. Great.
I was waiting for. I was
Impressive.
about to say no. I was waiting for someone to say it.
Nice game, yeah. Rod Smith, 18 for 62 and 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Torrey, 6 for 29. John Lovett, 2 for 23. And Luis Perez also ran for 9 yards on 2 carries. For receiving, Jeff Bidet, 5 for 80 and 2 touchdowns. John Lovett, 3 for 57. 2 for 57, sorry. Geronimo Allison, 3 for 40.
What the hell?
What?
I did not realize she was in the XFL.
Who's Geronimo Allison? I don't know. Educate me.
I think he's an old.
Let me get. He's
he
probably
was a
on the
Packer,
Packers.
wasn't he? Yeah, he was a Packer. I think. Give me 1 second.
He was probably some 7th round draft pick. Gorlami met in a bar
Man
in
just
Milwaukee.
turned.
Geronimo
Did you see his
Allison,
hold on.
former-
Did you see his camera? He just
Yeah.
turned on like 50 light bulbs to find this.
Yep.
Played
He was on the
Packers and Lions from
Packers.
2016.
Yeah, he was
to
an
2020.
undrafted free agent.
God has
Yeah.
just found him.
Yeah, Gorlami just witnessed Robert Oppenheimer or something. Just
Oh my god.
Cinque Sweetening 3 for 34, Cam Sutton 2 for 28, Brandon Dillon 1 for 13. No one else had over 10 yards receiving. The only fumble was lost by John Levette, their quarterback. Their defense only created 1 turnover, a forced fumble, which they did not recover. They had 7 tackles for losses and 4 sacks, so a pretty good game for them in the backfield. This game probably, honestly, by looking at the stats here, I wasn't able to watch this game, but looking at the stats, I feel like this game was who sucked less.
That was basically it. That's all a tank bowl is, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't have to drink an excessive amount of alcohol.
yeah, a win is a win, buddy. A win is
Congratulations to your liver.
a win.
Also, Paxton Lynch, you are out of here.
I'm surprised he hasn't been just released from the team at this point.
Yeah.
I think the XFL is all about second chances or third.
He's
or
on like
fourth
his 6th.
or 5th.
He's on his
sixth.
ninth.
I
Nice, and it
mean,
has
he
not
got
worked out.
benched how many times this year now?
At what point do you just say enough is enough with this man?
All right, great high scoring game on this one.
Yeah, final score 12-10. The Arlington Renegades advanced to 3-2 in the season, beating San Antonio Brahmas by 2, putting them at 1-4. Yeah, the Brahmas now have a similar record to the Vipers, which I feel like they're still better than the Vipers. They just have not been doing too good.
Yeah, they've had a pretty rough schedule. They were gonna up against tough teams like freaking Houston.
And I think they also faced
St.
against
Louis,
DC.
Yeah,
DC,
St. Louis.
yeah.
I don't know.
Not a great time for them.
I think we might have already.
Yeah. So for the Renegades, Kyle Sloter, 14 for 26 for 148 yards, passed for 5.7 average, no touchdowns, 1 pick, only had 2 sacks for 14 yards. Rushing, Devon Smith, 19 for 44, a 2.3 average and 1 touchdown. Kenneth Follow, 11 for 37, no touchdowns. And then Randall Hall, 1 carry, 21 yards, and then followed up by Kyle Sloter, 2 carries, 17 yards. All in all, 119 yards rushing, 148 passing. Pretty balanced attack there. For receiving, Brandon Acconato 3 for 40, Sal Canella 4 for 32, Javon Payton 1 for 26, LeJuan Winnington 1 for 17, Rennell Hall 2 for 18, and no one else had above double digits in receiving after that. No fumbles lost, and their defense caused 1 interception and 1 forced fumble, which they could not recover. They had 7 tackles for losses and 2 sacks for 12 yards.
Is that saying Will Hill is on their team in defense?
Will Hill, yep.
At Will Hill?
Let me look it up.
Will Hill. Investigative reporter Macedon is on the job.
Associate safety.
Yeah.
He was on the Giants, Ravens, Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Hamilton Tiger Cats, the CFL.
CFL. Orlando Apollos, St. Louis Battlehawks, and now Arlington.
Dang.
Was he traded?
No, this was 2020 Battlehawks.
Oh, 2020 Battlehawks, the non-AJ McCarron Battlehawks. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Does the XFL allow trades? Is there a trade deadline in the XFL? Do they do trades?
Don't know.
I think they do. Oh, I can look that up too.
They might. It's probably no one's trading in the league.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out who's good, and if someone's really good, like, are they going to trade him? Like, is St. Louis going to trade AJ McCarron? No.
Oh, actually, there was already 3 trades that happened.
Oh, really?
Wow. Drop Mattis.
Yeah, Arlington got Javonte Payton from Orlando.
Okay.
DC acquired tight end Alex Ellis from Arlington. This was like a couple weeks ago, and then Orlando acquired offensive lineman TJ Stormont from DC.
I bet Orlando's just like, what the fuck are we gonna do, man? I don't.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah. They're probably asking ChatGPT to fucking figure out what their trades need to be now. Reed.
What the
Okay.
fuck's that stat line?
A very weird one, I gotta
Oh
say.
God. This is the Brahmas now. Quarterback Reed Sinnott 13 for 19. Sorry, 97 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 13 yards was his longest pass, and 1 sack. Jack Cohen 7 for 15. That is below 50% completion rate, 42 yards, 2 interceptions, and 1 sack for 6 yards. The rushing, so 139 total yards of passing. Rushing was only 54 in total. 6 for 26 for Jacquez Patrick. Jack Cohen ran for 60 himself on 3 carries. Reed Sinnott 1 for 10, and Kalen Ballage 4 for 2. Receiving, Kalen Ballage 5 for 42, Fred Brown 4 for 31, Jacquez Patrick 5 for 24, TJ Manser 2 for 19 and 1 touchdown, and Travis Tovonen, yeah, 2 for 10. Everyone else had lower than 10 yards receiving. Only fumble was Jack Cohen, which he actually recovered himself. Their defense created no turnovers besides 1 interception. They had 7 tackles for loss and then 2 sacks for 14 yards in total. 139 total passing, 54 rushing. That's like just under 200 total yards of offense. Yikes. That is a yikes.
The Sunday games must have sucked ass.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest issue with a lot of spring football and minor league football is that it tends to like be very defensively oriented sometimes, and there's not a lot of high scoring games. It's just how it ends up. And I don't know exactly why, because college games are high scoring. But these aren't. But these are also pros. These are all guys that have gotten through college or at least some similar level of play. And now the games are not exactly that insanely competitive offensively sometimes, which is weird to me. And this is like we had a game like this, and then what was it, a week or two ago? It was like a 9-6 game or a 10-9.
That was Orlando, Arlington.
Yeah.
That was no, it was 6-15 was Seattle beating San Antonio. Like I think part of it could probably be offensive.
Yeah,
9-10.
Yeah.
Orlando, Arlington, 9-10.
There's
some big ones. 28-34 in week 3.
Yeah.
There's also 8-16 between DC and Vegas, but also weather conditions kind of messed with that one. So yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like the XFL is picking up traction in certain areas. Houston loves their team. Seattle tends to be doing okay with some of their. DC loves their team. St. Louis loves their team.
St. Louis
Yeah. St. Louis loves their team, and then Orlando.
It can be incompetent coaching. That could be a thing.
Yeah.
In some cases, yes, but you also got teams that are doing pretty well, like Wade Phillips and Houston.
Oh no, I'm saying that.
Is Marvin Lewis doing anything? I don't know why whenever I hear coaching positions available, is Marvin Lewis doing anything? I feel like he could maybe do something at the XFL level. Like maybe
Marvin Lewis, what you doing? You are currently a special advisor at Arizona State.
That's right. He went to college.
Interesting. All right. Well, that wraps up the week 5 of the XFL. Let's go ahead and look at our predictions. Macedon, do you have a leaderboard for us?
Yes, I do.
All right. Starting at the bottom and going to the top. Let's go through it.
So bottom is me at 13-7.
Heyo.
Hey.
Then it's Kaduff at 14-3. Then it's Gorlami 15-5. Lob is 16-6. And Mamba's 19-5.
Damn, Mamba.
We all sucked
this
past week.
Yeah, this past week we were like, this is a lock, this is a lock, this is a lock, and then it was.
I mean, I got my prediction for the DC game right. I'm happy.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
All right. Going into this week 6, we're starting out with Seattle at Orlando, Saturday, March 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's my team. I'm taking Seattle. Also, Orlando looks like a hot pile of shit. I'm taking Seattle by 12. We'll go to Mamba next.
Give me them Sea Dragons by 14.
Dragons by 14.
This game's probably gonna suck. Also, Seattle by 7.
All right, Gorlami.
Seattle by 6.
That was weird. He lagged super hard on my end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
that's what
His mouth didn't move. I thought you were like ventriloquist Gorlami.
Did you
for a
hear me
second.
or
Yeah,
No, we
got
heard
used
you.
to
Yeah,
it.
I heard you.
Your camera's lagging behind your face super bad.
call me
It was pretty. It
That
was
was
just
pretty
weird.
call me Jeff Dunham.
I'm a jalapeno. On the steak.
On a steak.
On the steak.
On a
On a
steak.
Yes.
All right, K-Duff.
Yeah. Sea Dragons dragging their nuts all over the Guardians by 10.
Next up, Saturday,
That-
March 25th.
that wasn't that funny.
Saturday, March 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern, St. Louis goes to Vegas in probably the worst field ever played in professionally for football to play the Vipers.
You forget about FedEx.
Now, honestly, this makes FedEx look like the Rose Bowl. I'm not.
Also, we're talking about football fields, not death traps.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. One of the Vegas games, obviously, the Vegas Vipers, they're in Vegas. It was raining.
Yeah.
Vegas is in a
Fantastic.
desert. Nothing grows here. You live in a desert.
Yeah, they might as well have been playing on a
See
fucking
this?
mud
This is
field.
sand. You know what's gonna be 100 years from now? Still sand.
You never know.
Yeah.
What's your prediction?
I'm taking St. Louis by. We'll go. See, XFL scores are weird because of the extra points and shit. I'm gonna say 14, but no, I'll take 13. I'll do 13 for St. Louis over Vegas.
Damn it, I already typed it, you motherfucker. All right, Mamba.
St. Louis by 21. Let's go with that.
St. Louis by 15.
Orlami got lucky, but he ain't gonna be lucky this time with my Battlecocks.
Take the Battlehawks by 10.
You're going down, kiddo.
I was waiting for you to pick the Vipers. I'm like, there's no
Ah.
way.
I was about to
think-
say the same. I am also going Battlehawks. I'm going to say by 9.
All right, two teams kind of struggling. San Antonio goes into Arlington, the small drive up the states, in order to play the Renegades. That's on Sunday, March 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm actually taking Arlington. They're the home team. They're also looking a bit better than San Antonio, despite a couple issues here and there. But again, I think that is going to be the best game possible for them, because I think Arlington's defense really capitalized on San Antonio's issue at quarterback. So I'll take Arlington by 7. Go ahead, Mamba.
Let me get Renegades by 3. I think it'll be a tight one.
I'm going to say it's Arlington by 5, not because it's going to be close, but because both offenses going to suck ass.
He's not wrong.
I'm gonna take Arlington by 6.
Shit, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, Renegades by 6.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
And then,
Game of the week.
yeah, game of the week. Monday, March 27th, Monday Night Football. All my friends are coming over for a rowdy, whatever Hank Williams Jr. said. The Houston Roughnecks are going
Margarita Monday.
Houston Roughnecks are going into DC,
The Lemon
into
Dome.
the Lemon Dome, the Snake Dome, the Beer Snake Dome, whatever you want to call it, to play the DC Defenders again
Lemon
Monday night at 7 p.m.
Dome.
Eastern. This is going to be a great game. This is going to be on ESPN2 or ESPN Plus. I think it's going to be a great game to watch, even though Houston is coming off a loss and DC is coming off of probably the most dominant running back performance we've seen since Derrick Henry played that team of 8th graders. I think,
The Bills.
yeah. The Bills.
I-
Oh no.
Dude, no, what he did to Josh Norman. Come on. Josh Norman had a family.
Yeah, he shoved him 6 foot deep.
Please,
Damn
stop. He's already dead.
This is a tough one. This is either Houston, led by Wade Phillips, and that strong team that's really come together well, and a pretty good defense coming off a loss, or DC, who hasn't experienced a loss yet, but also just ran the ball like prime Walter Payton mixed with Barry Sanders. Now, DC's the home team. Also, I love running the football. I think this is all adding up to a 1-point DC win.
All right.
Mamba, you're up.
Give me wait, are they home or away, DC?
DC
For
is
home.
home.
They're at DC.
Oh, I gotta go DC then. Give me DC by 7.
I'm gonna have to give the home field advantage, but it's gonna be by 3.
Everyone's going against Wade Phillips thus far. All right.
Until DC loses, I kind of have to go
Yeah.
with them right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what
got?
we're dealing with? We're the team that's going to burn that house down with the lemons.
Well, Lamy, what you got?
Remind me.
He's thinking.
I think he's frozen.
Wait, no, his camera froze. He can't hear him.
Oh, he's dead.
Lamy.
Time of
Hello.
death, 11:27 p.m.
Packers fan is gone.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Oh.
Okay. Is he back? Hello?
No. You're lagging, dude.
Man, Wisconsin internet's pretty ass.
Big in chat. 5,000 ping.
Are you playing a game on your computer
I'm
right now
typing
as
on
we're
my
doing the
phone.
podcast?
Roughnecks by 6. Okay.
Okay.
Gorlami,
right.
are you playing a game on your phone or on your computer as we're recording this?
Oh, I'm back.
No,
I'm
he's
back.
back.
I'm alive.
He's watching porn. That's what's happening.
What are you doing on your PC right now that's using that much of...
It shouldn't be. There's
What are you
nothing
doing?
that Your mom.
And
Back to the
we're
studio.
canceled. All right, Kate, let's get this going.
Oh. All right, DC by 10. Fuck it. Oh my god. That was great.
All right, let's start it right now. Let's enjoy the day.
All right, guys, that
Holy
was a great episode. I will see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Run the damn ball. Fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, man.
Couldn't
Technical
help
difficulty.
Meanwhile,
sorry,
Mamba's,
Dad.
Meanwhile, Mamba's over there playing like Osu or something.
Knowing him, he's
Ooh,
probably still
sick.
trying to program
Oh,
that
what
chat
the-
GPT button.
You don't
He's
see
playing-
the mouse, the magic mouse.
Are you still
He's
trying
doing-
to? Are you
He's
still trying
playing
to program
AIM
that
Labs.
chat GPT bot? By the way.
A little bit, yeah.
Alright.
What the fuck? Oh, did you make? Oh god, did you do hold as like announcements in it?
No,
Oh,
no, it's for.
it's complicated.
Oh
it's a long
god.
story.
It's vastly
Hey,
complicated.
I feel like AI has took like in the past couple of months to take such a steep like just like increase in complexity and what it's able to do and shit that I feel like we kind of made a recent breakthrough with it, at least for the consumer. I don't know. It's kind of scary, kind of interesting, kind of weird, kind of funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not the
We've hit lower. We've hit lower.
Yeah.
we're not the robot stooges, we're the football stooges. So let's talk turkey. In case this team, their turkey's cooked. The New England Patriots, they have 15 million cap space right now. They have, let's see, their picks. Oh, whoops, this is their free salary. Wait, this should be where it's shown, right?
You know what I think the worst part is about that
There you
joke?
go. There you go.
I did a freaking ab workout today, and my abs are so sore.
Yeah.
And then I started laughing, and it hurt.
The
Don't worry,
Patriots
it's nice.
have the first round pick,
No.
14th overall, second round pick, 46th overall, third, 76. They have 3 fourths, 107, 117, 135. And then is that 4 sixth, 184, 187, 192, and 210. And then they have a 7th round pick, 245. With this many
Got any of
late
them
picks
picks
in the
filled out,
round, with this many picks late in the draft, I feel like Belichick's going to find some
Another
random guy
Tom
that
Brady.
used
This
not
is-
Tom
this
Brady.
is always
no.
the
I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I know, I
God,
know.
no.
I'm
But
just being a
like
small
another
boy.
Julian Edelman or like just
Well, yeah. I mean,
oh.
we get talent from like any round of the draft, like or
You guys get
undrafted.
talent from the local Walmart about a guy bagging groceries and makes a one-handed catch of Bush's baked beans that slides too fast off the conveyor belt, and you're like, that guy needs a salary, and and then all of a sudden,
Well, I mean, the Rams made
he
that
catches the
decision and ended up with
one-handed
Warner.
ball off 3 Falcons defenders in the middle of the Super Bowl, and you guys break like the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. It's insane.
Well, I mean, the Rams picked up a guy from the supermarket, and it only turned out to be Kurt Warner. So
I mean, yeah.
Heard of.
As far as who they're paying a ton of money to, Matt Judon is being paid 8.14% of their salary. His cap hit this year,
And well deserved. He had a career year last year.
Yes, very well deserved. Hunter Henry is also getting paid 6.97% of the cap at 15.5 mil of a cap hit, and then the mammoth of the NFL, about 6'9", 320, 350 pounds, depends on the day. Trent Brown getting paid 5.51% of their cap at 12.25 million in the cap hits.
Yep.
That is the scariest guy in the NFL. Forget Aaron Donald, it's that guy. He flies under the radar a lot in the NFL circles because he's not the super flashy left tackle, but man, can that guy lay a block. We kind of skipped over this. The Patriots season recap grade.
6. I'm giving it a 6, honestly, because it's been stuff I was griping with all year, like massive holes in our secondary, inconsistency throughout the roster. Would you? Wow, really?
All right, playoffs.
Joe Judge and
playoffs.
Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinators. There you go. That's all I have to say.
I mean, I already griped about that enough. I don't want to feel like yelling about that anymore.
So offensive.
There's the score.
Yeah. Offensive coordinator issues. The inability to use Mac Jones in any way possible. On top of that, Mac Jones was also injured.
Which also fostered what I never want us to deal with, a quarterback controversy between Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. So
quarterback controversy, but where there shouldn't be any. And then on top of that, you also had. Did you make the playoffs this year?
No,
we did not.
No, didn't make the playoffs.
We had deja vu of getting eliminated by on the last day of possible to move on by, you guessed it, the fucking Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Gotta love them.
Well deserved.
So coming into their free agency, I mean, I'll give them a 3. I think maybe a 4. Actually, probably a 4. They were a mid-level team. They're in that limbo area, which is a bad place to be. Didn't make the playoffs. Didn't do bad enough to get a really high pick. They have the 17th overall pick. What are they going to do with that? Or 14th overall. So yeah, what are they going to do with that? I don't know. As far as
we've got some options, we can tie it to a bunch of people like I think Joey Porter Jr. if he falls that far enough. Zay Flowers for some reason isn't like we already don't have enough wide receivers.
With Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, we could have gone for fucking DeAndre Hopkins, I feel like, and no, we're going for him instead.
And you signed Mike Gesicki, which is not a bad signing, but also at the same time,
no, I mean,
like, why would you sign him and still have Hunter Henry? I don't know a team that has a bona fide perennial all-star tight end that goes out and signed another borderline all-star tight end. Who's behind George Kittle? Who's behind Mark Andrews? Who's behind?
Belichick has this thing where he likes to have multiple tight ends threats on the roster. Like we saw that with like back in the day with like Gronk and Aaron Hernandez that both were good options.
Yeah, he had to have one on-field threat and one off-the-field threat.
I mean, this is before we knew he was a fucking piece of shit. But he
came from Urban Meyer, Florida Gators. So that's all piece of shit.
That was one of, if Tim Tebow wouldn't have been there, that was the worst possible grouping of people ever.
Right. Point still
I
stands.
still call
like
it the worst
multiple tight
copy,
end-
but Tim
multiple-
Tebow.
Tim
Point
Yeah,
still
my
stands,
point
though.
still stands.
Tim Tebow
No, he
is. I don't know.
Like my
I don't
point still
know.
stands though. Multiple tight ends that you can use as a weapon for your quarterback. That's
On and off
always
the
been
field.
Thank you, Gorlami. But yeah,
You
You get to bully me
payback.
for Aaron Rodgers. I get to get payback by talking about your murderous tight ends.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already disowned them too. So
Yeah. The only free agents that they have that could leave that they haven't re-signed yet: Nelson Aguilar, Devin McCourty,
Devin
tackle
McCourty's
Isaiah
retired,
Wynn.
so he's not coming
Yeah,
back.
McCourty is retired. Isaiah Wynn, quarterback Brian Hoyer, cornerback Joe Juwan Williams, defensive tackle Carl Davis, right tackle Marcus Cannon, and kicker Quinn Norden. Aguilar, if you want to re-sign him to a good deal that's probably low in money, that'd be great. McCourty is retired. Isaiah Wynn probably want to re-sign him. He's a good tackle. He's 26 years old. A lot of upside there.
I keep him.
Brian Hoyer, he's a backup quarterback. They come and go. Who cares?
I
Juwan
think he's already cut too. So
yeah,
that's it.
Juwan Williams. He's a 25-year-old quarterback. He didn't really play a ton. Didn't look amazing. Didn't look bad.
And we already got a bunch of. We've kind of got a bit of a logjam at CB right now too. So I feel like
You
we
just
could
re-sign
take him or
Mills.
leave him.
Marcus
we
Cannon is
tried-
34. Probably don't re-sign that. And Carl Davis is 31 at defensive tackle. Maybe not there. As far as
Quinn
who
Norden-
they have, go ahead.
Might want to keep Norden too. I know we got rid of Bailey, but some other special teams help could also help.
Yeah, 24-year-old kicker. I mean, kickers never really get better a lot. Usually they're like, oh, this kicker's at this level, and he stays at level until he gets old and he declines. I've rarely seen kickers be like, oh, he's not that good. And all of a sudden, wow, that was out of nowhere. Like Evan McPherson 2 years ago. It wasn't like he was bad all season and all of a sudden it was amazing. He was making kicks all year and then just made the kicks at the right times and was fine. So, I mean, kickers, I think
We had
once they get in
some
the league,
legendary kicks, I gotta say.
He did,
oh yeah. That was the second best ever kicking performance in the playoffs, right behind Adam Vinatieri's kicking performance.
boy.
But the best ever rookie,
Vinny.
the best ever rookie kicking season ever.
From
Nothing.
a rookie standpoint, yes.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm
would
just
agree on
waiting
that.
until we get a kicker who's good enough to do kickoffs like Pat McAfee.
Oh yeah.
Recover
I'm just
your own
thinking-
onside kick.
Yeah, I'm just thinking the AC championship game 2 years ago where you don't know, you heard the story. Like McPherson goes up to kick, he gets ready, he starts stretching. He's like, "Well, time to go to Super Bowl."
yeah, time to go.
He actually
No,
said
against
that. He
the
actually said
Titans.
it.
It was against the Titans. It was a super long field goal. And he said, I guess we're going to the AFC Championship. Walks up, they snap the ball, he kicks it, and he goes, shooter, and nails it. He has so the cojones on that dude must be the basketball size. This guy's insane. As far as who the Patriots have signed, Jacoby Myers, Juju
He's
Smith-Schuster.
No. Myers is gone. They're just paying for his 1-year contract.
Yeah, this is the paying thing. Like
Yeah,
Myers,
Jacoby Myers is gone.
on the
Juju
Raiders.
Smith-Schuster has been signed. Jonathan Jones stayed. Jabril Peppers stayed. Calvin Anderson signed from Denver. Joe Granada stayed.
Cardona.
Chris-
Yep.
Linebacker Chris Board signed from Detroit. Riley Reef signed from Chicago. Again, I don't know. Maybe he's going to be good in a Patriots setting, but when he was with the Bengals, he was bad. When he was with the Bears, Mama can even test this, he was worse. They signed Mike Gesicki out of Miami. It might have just been a move to get another tight end. Also could have been moved to screw over the options for Tua Tagovailoa to throw to.
The funny thing is, I think I jinxed that last week because I remember commenting when we were doing the free agency stuff. Like I'm kind of surprised the Dolphins hadn't picked up Gesicki yet on a no deal, and then like the next day I'm like, well, that's an interesting news to wake up to.
Yep.
One good pickup, James Robinson.
Yep. Running back James Robinson out of the Jets.
like that one.
Going to New England. That's a good pick. Mac Wilson, linebacker, re-signing. Inside linebacker, Raquan McMillan re-signed. Jake Bailey has left for Miami. Cody Davis has re-signed with New England. Corliss Whitman from Denver, the punter, has signed with New England. Cornerback Jalen Mills re-signed with New England. Damian Harris, the running back, has signed with Buffalo. And Daniel Ikule has re-signed for New England as a defensive tackle. Again, weird signings. The biggest question marks I have, why Juju? Why Gesicki? Why Riley Reef? Riley Reef is a liability on the field. Gesicki is good, but also at the same time, that's a lot of money to pay a backup tight end. And then Juju Smith-Schuster does not fit the scheme of the Patriots at all. Their locker room, like, I feel like he's going to fight with Belichick and request a trade week 1. Like, this
I'm gonna do
seems
TikTok
like
dances on him. on his way.
Yeah,
out.
This
I'm-
seems like putting two clownfish together in a little tank and watching them kill each other. Like, this is not going to be good.
I'm scared about that as well. I really would have wished we signed Hopkins instead of him, but I don't know what Belichick's thinking.
This will be the first time that Juju Smith-Schuster is being passed the football from a non first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably, kind of, basically. There were some weird years in Pittsburgh, but at the same time, like Patrick Mahomes, Ben Roethlisberger. Now he's getting thrown the ball by an overweight Alabama quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? What knows? Whatever offense Bill O'Brien is bringing into this could
Fall
probably
of
make use of him.
Boston.
You say fall of Boston. Where are the Bruins right now, motherfucker?
Shut up, shut up,
Pres-
shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up,
President's Trophy curse.
shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I don't want to hear about rat-faced Brad Marchand and the ghost of Zdeno Chara anymore. They're old. They should be dead by now, but they're not. They're still playing hockey somehow. It's like watching Bobby Orr. Like, yuck.
On that
All right.
bombshell, let's move on to Buffalo.
Yeah. Buffalo, who probably is the second worst team on paper, maybe
In free agency,
a lot. The Buffalo Bills season was interesting. They had an amazing ride. They did really well in the playoffs, or in the regular season. Going into the playoffs, they were the 2 seed. Again, a lot of issues kind of happened, like the what ifs around the DeMar Hamlin injury. Obviously, the game was canceled. The game was no longer going to be played. I was actually watching that game. It was a Monday night game. I was at my house watching with my dad because I'm a Bengals fan, and it was hard to watch, just that injury and everything that happened, and as well as being mad that we didn't get to see the game because the Bengals were up by a bit.
I know a bunch of us
Cincinnati.
we were video gaming. I mean, like the moment that game happened, and we come out to the news and like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was a rough one, and I hated how they kept going back to like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, who of all people to comment on this, those should not be the one. It's like, welcome back. The game is still paused, and we can just only pray for what's going on. It's just Joe Buck, and then Troy Aikman's on the side. Like,
have you seen the TikTok version of that with Hoy 4?
Oh my god!
Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Joe
And here comes America
Lord.
dropping the nuclear bombs on Japan, and there they go. And Nick Castellanos out of right field.
If it's a 4-run game.
So
we'll go down to our sideline correspondent, Aaron Andrews. Aaron, can you hear us?
It's just like,
it
All
looks
right,
like
let me
Aaron's
back
not
to
there.
that.
All right, let's go with. Okay, let's talk about
Yeah.
Buffalo.
The Bills, they have 11 million in cap space, 11.5 actually. As far as their season recap, they finished second overall in the AFC. They were able to did they win their wild
Divisional
card?
round.
Divisional round.
They
yeah.
went to divisional round.
They went to the divisional round and they played the Bengals in a
Lost
really great game, in a snow game, fill game in Buffalo, and they lost, which was a really rough moment. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, well, more like Stephon Diggs was arguing with a just mentally distant Josh Allen on the sidelines. Not something you want to see from a really good wide receiver and a really good quarterback. And now they're starting to lose some pieces. And also their run game the whole year looked like a hot pile of corn-filled dog shit. So the Bills, they got to the divisional round. They were second in the AFC, a pretty good accomplishment. I would honestly say probably a 6.5 to 7 out of 10.
I'd say that too.
Right.
Muzzy was like talking about this last week, like go easy on it. It's like there's nothing really to go hard about. Like he had a great year last year. That was probably your best chance at it. Your window's still open though. It's not impossible for you guys to go to the Super Bowl, but it's definitely going to be harder than it would have been last year.
But yeah, they haven't even. When was the last time they made it to the AFC Championship?
Fuck, I don't even think. No wait, they did. That was probably 2020. I was.
So with Josh Allen, they made it to the AFC Championship once, and this is his what season?
Fourth or third season.
Fourth, yeah. He was 2019.
Yeah. So the clock isn't ticking for Josh Allen, but at the same time, like you got a lot of guys
clicking for the salary cap because
the salary
they got the
cap's
pain.
not great. Josh Allen is taking 8.18% of the cap with an 18.6 million cap hit. Tre'Davious White 7.13 with 16.23 million. Stephon Diggs, $14.85 million cap hit, which comes into 6.53, as well as Deion Dawkins, their left tackle, a Pro Bowler as well, $14.85 million cap hit. So a lot of guys on payroll.
That's crazy.
Mitch Morse, the center, coming in at 4.99.
You don't see that very often with centers with cap percentages like that.
Billy.
Maybe to Super Bowl.
I mean,
hey, Jason Kelsey did win it in 2017. I don't give a fuck.
The picks that they have: first round, 27th overall; second round, 59th overall; third round, 91st overall; fourth round, 130th overall; fifth round, 137th; and sixth round, 205th. They do not have a seventh round pick. The draft is actually coming up pretty quickly. Right now, as we're recording, it's late March. The draft will be in April, so we'll have to get some breakdowns on that as well.
About a month away from that.
About a month away, yeah. So we might be able to cover all of the divisions. We've gone through like 5 right now, and there's 8 total. So,
we'll get it done. Totally.
Yeah,
we'll get it.
There's only 2 divisions left.
Let's look at their free agents. Some of the free agents they haven't re-signed quite yet. Guard Roger Saffold, who they picked up from the Titans last year, a very good guard. He is 34, but at the same time, still a very good player. Jordan Phillips, defensive end. Running back Tywan Jones, guard Greg Van Roten, defensive end Shaq Lawson, wide receiver Jake Cuminro, strong safety Dean Marlowe, guard Bobby Hart, outside linebacker AJ Klein, who actually had a pretty good season when he was in, Justin Murray, the tackle, and the tight end Tommy Sweeney. Again, people that need to be re-signed here: Roger Saffold, if you can get a good deal on a vet, kind of not vet minimum, but a good veteran deal. He was a great part of that team. As well as Jordan Phelps did okay. I think we get someone to re-sign, as well as AJ Klein. But again, kind of reassuring that offensive line, because you also lost Knox to Bengals after they signed him with Orlando Brown. Some of the free agent signings that have already happened to or from Buffalo: Tremaine Edmonds, inside linebacker, went to Chicago on a $72 million deal.
Way too much.
Yeah, way too much. Way too much. You got a lot of money, Mamba, but when you're spending it on bums like that, that's not good.
Okay, he's not a bum.
Not a bum, but at the same time, he's not worth $72 million. Okay,
not for that position. Yeah. Not for that position.
He is nowhere near a scrub, but he is not. He's not like worth like
it's just that
high level wide receiver money.
Yeah, you don't pay inside linebackers that much in general.
Connor McGovern signed from Dallas. The guard. Free safety Jordan Poyer re-signed with the team. Wide receiver Deontay Hardy signed from New Orleans. Quarterback Case Keenum, yes, that Case Keenum, left for Houston. Devin Singletary went to Houston as well. So there goes their best running back, if you don't count Josh Allen. Wide receiver Trent Sherfield went to Buffalo from Miami. Quarterback Kyle Allen was signed from Buffalo, to Buffalo from Houston. Wide receiver Jamison Crowder from left Buffalo from New York. David Edwards, the guard, came to Buffalo from the Rams. David Quessenberry, the right tackle, re-signed. Isaiah McKenzie, the wide receiver, left for Indiana. Damian Harris has been
Indiana. You mean Indianapolis?
Or Indiana. Indianapolis.
I mean, you got the state right.
Yeah. And then safety Jaquan Johnson left from Buffalo to Vegas. As far as the signings go here, you got a guard, Connor McGovern from Dallas. The Dallas offensive line has been good, so that's a good pickup there. Letting Tremaine Edmonds leave to have Chicago pay him $72 million, sure. Getting another backup in Kyle Allen rather than Case Keenum, I guess that's fine. Devin Singletary leaving hurts. There were a lot of running backs available in free agency. Samandre Pirine was available. Austin Eckler is now seeking a trade. I doubt they have the cap space for that. But the biggest issue we talked about the whole year with Buffalo was their run offense, which has not had a good running back in a long time, probably since Frank Gore. And even then, he was halfway geriatric when he got there. So they need to fill that hole quickly.
He was starting to get senile then.
There are also moments where I feel like Josh Allen cost them games, especially on the games like against the playoff game against the Bengals, the Vikings thriller. Those were just one.
He started to show Tony Romo signs of chokeitis, and it's not good.
It isn't. No.
Not good.
A
it's
slight
not
and a
good.
slight Cutler attitude.
No,
Slight.
He's right. He's right because when
Maybe a bit.
now,
A hint.
if you remember the image of Diggs yelling at Allen when Allen was sitting there looking deadpan away and not caring, who does that remind you of?
Cutler.
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 That's why I said a hint.
I
hint.
kind of wasn't Carson
Yeah.
Wentz just being ass, but
Carson Wentz would probably just not be able to hear him because he was so concussed. But, yeah. All right. Moving on from Buffalo, let's go ahead and go to Miami. The Miami Dolphins who made a lot of moves.
Talking about concussions.
Yeah, and also talk about like no cap space,
Yeesh.
$3.9 million. As far as Miami season goes, they were riddled with injuries, especially to Tua Tagovailoa. That was not great for them. And then also Teddy Two Gloves went down, which left them up to some random quarterback I can't remember the name of. Yeah. It was a weird season for them. They ended up not making the playoffs, but really not making it because Tua was still out. So they ended up having to play their third string quarterback.
Who
honestly
somehow almost won though.
Yeah,
almost
a
won.
7th round rookie almost beating the Bills at the Ralph. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
I'll say at least a 5.
But also at the same time, the leaders in receiving yards near the entire season were Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
No surprise there.
Yeah, an amazing performance from them. I would honestly give their season probably like a 6. They did great, but injuries just sucked. It just sucked so hard.
A 6 is enough for me, I'd say.
But they've done a lot in free agency. They had a lot in free agency. Before we get that, let's go ahead and start to look at some of their picks. They don't have many. Only a 2nd round pick, number 51, a 3rd round pick, number 84, a 6th round pick, number 197, and a 7th round pick, number 238. Only 4 picks in total. No firsts, no fourths, no fifths. Only a 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th.
They had another 3rd, but traded that away for Jalen Ramsey. So
they did, which also was a bit of a steal. A 3rd round for Jalen Ramsey, who is still debatably one of the top 5 cornerbacks in this league.
Yes, but he's also starting to push 30, which is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, but at the same time, is he going to be guarding the number 1 guy? Maybe, maybe not. But at the same time,
they've also got Xavier Howard.
Howard, yes. So Xavier Howard could be on the wide receiver 1. And if you're telling me you have a Jalen Ramsey, who is pushing 30 on the wide receiver number 2, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I feel like the Miami Dolphins are kind of done with their free agency. They only have $3.9 million left. And at the same time, they've done a lot of shit with what they've needed to move around. Again, this list of people they've signed or left is extensive. Their available players they could re-sign. Cornerback Byron Jones, who I believe was put on franchise tag. Or was he cut? No, he was cut, actually.
He was cut, yeah.
Yes, he was their highest cap space at $8.13 million.
Ooh,
that cost them $18.351 million in a cap hit.
8% of the cap, too. Jesus.
Ooh, that is a lot of So Byron Jones has been cut. Teddy Bridgewater hasn't been re-signed yet. Safety Eric Rowe, who's 30 years old, has not been re-signed. He could be a good pickup, but again, they don't really have much money to do that. Outside linebacker Melvin Ingram, left tackle Eric Fisher.
He's still in the league.
Yeah. Safety Clayton Fledglam, tight end Kethlin Carter, tight end Adam Shahan, defensive end Trey Flowers, tackle Greg Little, linebacker Sam Egjoven, defensive tackle John Jenkins, cornerback Justin Bethel, tackle Brandon Shell, and cornerback Trill Williams. Again, who can they really re-sign from this?
Not much.
And I don't know if they want to re-sign much anyway.
You've got some
Eric Rowe,
old guys and often injured guys like Terry Bridgewater and Melvin Ingram. Eric Fisher's he's a decent left tackle, but I don't know if you can re-sign him for what you have left in your salary cap. And the rest, either guys I don't know or could care less about if they cut them or release them. So
yeah. Then looking at what's happened as far as players leaving or entering, David Long, linebacker from Tennessee, has come to Miami. Mike White, yes, that sawn in half. Mike White, quarterback from the Jets, entered Miami. Eladen Roberts, outside linebacker, has left for Pittsburgh. Jeff Wilson re-signed. Raheem Mostert re-signed. Duke Riley re-signed. Mike Gesicki has left for New England. Braxton Berrios has come from the Jets to Miami. Dan Freeney has signed with Miami from the Jets as well. Again, they're getting a lot of Jets. Nick Nettleman has re-signed with Miami. Trent Sherfield, the wide receiver, has gone from Miami to Buffalo. Deshaun Elliott, the safety, has gone from Detroit to Miami. Eric Stubart, the tight end, has come from Denver to Miami. Michael Dieter, the guard, has left for Houston. Malik Reed, the outside linebacker, has gone from Pittsburgh to Miami. Jake Bailey, the punter, from New England to Miami. Garen Christian, the tackle, has re-signed with Miami, as well as the running back Myles Gaskin and the wide receiver River Carecraft. Andrew Van Ginkel, the linebacker, has re-signed with Miami, and then Thomas Morstead, the punter, left for the Jets. So again, as I said, Miami's kind of done. They got only $4 million basically left to do. You can't do a ton with that, but they might be able to get one or two more guys. Maybe they might want to try to draft a tight end, but again, what tight end's going to be able in the second round? We'll see what they do. They're definitely in a good position, but the biggest thing for them, it all lies with their quarterback health. But again, they also have three quarterbacks, all of which who can just go off. Tua, Teddy, Mike.
Well, who knows if they keep Teddy Bridgewater? There's chances they might move on from him.
Yeah, Teddy might leave. Yeah.
So
all in mode.
I mean, it might work. Jalen Ramsey could be amazing. Jalen Ramsey could be shit.
Yeah. Their defense is pretty solid. Wide receiver core is pretty solid. Running back room is basically locked up and ready to roll. Quarterback is just the main thing for them, I'd say.
Yeah.
That and finding a tight end. They're going to need to replace him for Mike Gesicki.
There's a couple good tight ends in the draft. Again, there's that guy in Georgia. I hope the Bengals get the guy out of Georgia. The guy that I can't remember his name, but he basically pushed a sled 500 feet in a second in his blocking drill. I'd love a good tight end that is a Mercedes Lewis archetype, if you will.
I don't see any of the higher picks like Dalton Kincaid or Michael Mayer falling to them, but if
they could also get Schoonmaker, the guy out of Michigan.
Schoonmaker is another option. Yeah,
he's a pretty good option.
Gorlami? You okay, Gorlami? You look out of it.
Gorlami always spaces out.
I'm very tired right now, and I got to work overtime tomorrow, which can be great.
Right.
Luckily, we're almost done. We got one more team, and then a little bit of free agency stuff to talk about.
Yep.
A little bit of bullying.
I think we're done right now.
We're getting a little more because the Jets are next.
Yeah, the Jets.
That's some hilarious shit.
There they are. All right. New York Jets. They have $11 million in cap space. Right now, when Rodgers gets traded, if that happens, which he probably should still be, traded, that's probably going to go down a lot. But we'll see. Let's look at some of their. Well, let's cover their season. Again, another team riddled by injuries. Zach Wilson, definitely that was not something good that continued to happen. Zach Wilson.
No.
The motherfucker literally was not a great experiment for them to go with, and they kind of went with Mike White, but now he's left, but they're going to get Rodgers. They had an amazing running back. They probably drafted the best running back in the draft, Breece Hall, but then he tore his ACL, which was another injury-prone thing that happened, which is not great for them to have. Their defense all of a sudden became probably the best defense in the AFC East out of nowhere, literally nowhere.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Sauce Gardner became...
Garrett Wilson also had a pretty decent year.
Yeah. The Jets
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Offensive Rookie of the Year in Garrett Wilson. Defensive Rookie of the Year in Sauce Gardner, as well as probably the Offensive Rookie of the Year in Breece Hall before he got injured. So they have three rookies with all the draft picks they had in last year's draft that panned out amazingly besides the injury. And hopefully if Breece Hall is able to recover and still play to that same ability, the ceiling is really the limit for them. But again, also, they ended up finishing in a mediocre year, but there's hope in New York for the Jets. Honestly, even though the Giants made the playoffs, there might be more hope in the Jets because of Rodgers coming in. And to look at their season without taking Rodgers and that aspect out of it, I think, honestly, this is the best Jets season in a long time. If that leaves him alone, I'm willing to give him a 7. because this fan base and this group has expected so little that this season is probably a bit better than a lot of others have been.
Give it a 5 based off the injuries.
5 on injuries.
Maybe
Zach Wilson being the petulant child he is.
I think I would say 6. They got a lot of young guys that are really good, and then they got a really good running back. It's just their quarterback situation was dog shit. But you
Yeah.
know,
I would say 6. If Zach Wilson wasn't being what he was, Mike White getting hurt, Brees Hall getting hurt.
You also have to look
it
at
could have been
the
better.
order of elimination. The AFC East. Who was the first team out?
It
The
was
Jets.
Jets. It was Jets. Sorry, I
Yeah.
almost said Patriots.
Yeah,
Like, wait,
It
right.
was. It
Yeah,
was.
No, so
But they were all in contention at one point.
Yeah,
They
no,
were
it was
all
a
about
bit.
to make
It was
the
a
playoffs.
very bit of a toss-up thing, and then Jets took a nosedive. Patriots, I don't even want to fucking talk about. Jacoby Myers is now on the team
Matt
where
Patricia. Matt
he
Patricia.
fumbled his
Matt
way out of my
Patricia.
good graces. So,
Yeah.
and Matt
Legend.
Patricia, thank fucking God
Legend.
we're not retaining him.
Yeah. For
all I can say.
now, these are the Jets draft picks. They probably won't all be here by the time Rodgers gets traded. They have the first round, 13th overall, second round, 42nd overall, another second round, the 43rd overall, 1 4th, 1 12, 1 5th, 1 43, and 1 6th at 207 with no sevenths. So a good number of picks, 6 in total.
Was it a third round pick that they got or second round pick they got for that Elijah Moore trade? Because that just happened like a day or two ago.
The news that I think broke yesterday that he got traded.
Probably
Yeah,
would be the
but
second
was it
round
for
because they
second
had 2
round?
of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
Yep. Then let's go ahead and look at their free agents. As far as people they haven't signed yet, George Fant, the right tackle, Connor McGovern, the center, Joe Flacco, the quarterback, LaMarcus Joyner, the free safety, inside linebacker Quan Alexander, defensive end Vin Curry, tackle Cedric Ogbiendi, right tackle Mike Remmers, guard Drew Samia, tackle Greg Sennett, wide receiver Rodney Adams, and offensive linebacker outside linebacker Marcel Harris. That's okay. So there's one center, a tackle, a right tackle, a guard, and another tackle. That's 5 linemen they're not re-signing. Oh, 6 actually with George Fant. If they have the ability, I would definitely say resign George Fant. He played pretty well. You're gonna need people to protect Rodgers when he comes there. Connor McGovern will also be someone you might want to re-sign, but LaMarcus Joyner, if you can, sure. Joe Flacco, no.
Yeah, I'd
Maybe
probably
pick up a
gonna be a-
quarterback in the 6th round.
He's leading his way into retirement.
Yeah, Joe Flacco's 38. Wow.
Just replace it with some like scrub quarterback like Tyson Baggins in the draft or something.
Yeah. Then let's look at some of the players that has either come to or left. Gorlami, Alan Lazard has joined the New York Jets from Green Bay. Defensive end Nathan
He'll be
Shepard.
fine.
Nathan Shepard has left for New Orleans. Defensive tackle Sheldon Raskins has left for Houston. Guard Nate Heidberg has left for Pittsburgh. Mike White left for Miami. McCole Hardman came from the Jets, or from Kansas City to the Jets. Wes Schweitzer came from Washington to the Jets. Running back James Robinson left for New England. Braxton Berrios, wide receiver, left for Miami. Dan Freeney, the guard, left for Miami. Again, there's a lot of offensive linemen here. That's not good if you're looking at the
No, it
protective
is
up.
not.
You're gonna have to protect Rodgers, and also Orlando Brown's now off the table because he's with Cincinnati. So yeah.
You have to like look at the list of like the best like 100 free agents that are still available. Out of the ones that are out of the top 100 that are available, not many of them are guards or O-line in general. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to be bottom barrel searching for something to protect.
Or
it.
draft.
Yeah.
You never
Or
know.
draft.
They have a pretty high pick. Greg Zuerlein re-signed with the Jets. So did defensive end Solomon Thomas. They got center Tristan Colin Castillo from Baltimore. Wide receiver Jeff Smith left for the Giants. Nick Baldwin has re-signed with the Jets. Same with defensive tackle Isaiah Mack and tackle Adam Pankey. Running back Ty Johnson also re-signed, and then Thomas Morstead, the punter, has gone from Miami to the Jets.
Yeah, there's a lot of interchange pieces within the division.
Miami to New York, Jets to Giants, Miami to New York to Miami, New York to Miami, New York to New England. New York to Miami. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
Not
lot.
to
Yeah, that is a lot.
mention other teams like New England to Buffalo, Buffalo to Miami, yada yada yada.
Yeah, interesting. Teams really want to get the leading edge. Like, what was their playbook? What were they running?
Yeah.
What is Deuce Wright Tarantula Banana Snake 3?
I mean, they play each other twice a year, so it's, they're gonna learn it pretty quick.
All
I
right.
mean, if you want to get the inside
Sure,
scoop
see.
from Patricia, you just got to buy him a Keystone Light.
Fucking.
That's
Why he
really
rides
awesome.
his ATV telling that you have to sit up. Right.
All right.
Oh god.
We'll go to K-Duff. We did the big recap of everything every team has done thus far in free agency last week. So K-Duff, will go ahead and go to you with any big news that has come out the past few days.
Yeah, this news comes back from, we're going from the 16th, which is when we last recorded the podcast. First off, Eagles bringing on a backup for Jalen Hurts in the form of Marcus Mariota, 1 year, $5 million deal worth up to $8 million.
Yeah, great.
Scrolling
That's
up.
a great move. That's
Yeah, I don't
he
mind
plays.
that.
Well, I mean, he plays a lot. The thing is this is like a Tyler Huntley situation. You want a quarterback that plays like your starter. So if your starter goes out, your offense doesn't isn't changed a ton. Tyler Huntley
Right.
plays like Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Marcus Mariota plays like Jalen Hurts. He isn't Jalen Hurts,
And-
but he plays like him enough that you can kind of keep things going.
Yeah, I guess you could
And
say
also
like
Minshew.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it meant you went to Indianapolis, so it's like getting a backup who knows who played the game as a veteran. I don't mind that.
Also, as a Cincinnati guy, I'm happy for Desmond Riddler able to take the reins in Atlanta, so long as Lamar doesn't. So,
Have they confirmed that he's going to be a starter, or is it going to be like a contest between him and Heineke?
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody knows until training camp.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, moving on. Let's see. We got the Seattle Seahawks adding on former Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Devin Bush on a 1-year deal. We've already talked about Gesicki going to the Patriots. That deal's worth up to $9 million, but it's at the moment 1 year, $4.5 million.
Okay.
DJ Chark. No, wait, that's just him visiting. That's just to talk about DJ Chark visiting the Panthers. Let's see. Tay Davis, linebacker, signed with the Falcons. Bills released Isaiah McKenzie, which we already knew was happening. Cameron Brate and Fournette and Leonard Fournette have been released from the Buccaneers. No news on where they have signed.
Leonard Fournette should just retire.
He's old.
Giant safety Julian Love also going to the Seahawks as well. No word on that deal. More than I take it back. 2 years, $12 million. Dane Jackson re-signed with the Bills. Dean Lowry, a defensive end, has signed with the Minnesota Vikings. Agreed to terms, but those are not listed.
I don't want to talk about that one. That one hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That one hurt real bad. I really like Lowry.
Actually, are looking for trade.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got a former Chargers linebacker Drew Tranquil and former Tampa Bay safety Mike Edwards are signed with the Chiefs.
Okay.
We've got Texans lineman Justin McCray signing with the Panthers. Blaine Gabbert has apparently visited the Raiders, and Foster Moreau's visiting the Saints. So
Gabbert's still around. Jesus.
Apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been a decent backup. I mean, he won a ring backing up Brady in Tampa Bay. The Dallas Cowboys acquired Brandon Cooks. Texans extended Laramie Tunsil. Panthers adding on another wide receiver, Adam Thielen from the Vikings.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Again, I am telling you, the Panthers are going all in. Like, they want to really give a quarterback an option. And again, they have the first overall pick, so that might be CJ Stroud or Bryce Young throw into that guy. But at the same time, like, they have a lot of weapons right now. They have a lot of weapons.
They do.
This
is going to be painful for Mastodons, and CJ Gardner-Johnson have reached a deal with the Detroit Lions, 1 year, up to $8 million.
Apparently, the Eagles was going to pay him more. He tried his chance at free agency, like, hey, who wants me? And everybody else was giving him less than what he wanted, except for the Eagles. And then Detroit was the only one that he signed with. So it's like, damn.
Yep,
Odd.
and right after him, Matt
Yeah.
Collins from the Raiders is now going to Atlanta on a one-year deal. Does not say how much that one's worth.
No,
Cleveland
Aguilar,
Browns,
he's gonna drop it.
Cleveland Browns are getting a visit from linebacker Anthony Walker. Wait, excuse me. Cleveland Browns linebacker Anthony Walker visiting the Commanders. I think they did need linebacker help this year. Let's see.
Packers
The
signed.
Dolphins have officially exercised Tua's fifth-year option, locking him in for another deal. But who knows what that's going to be with, depending on looking back on his injury history, as we've already previously discussed. This one, I believe, was already talked about last week. Baker Mayfield signed with the Bucs. The deal was announced to be worth up to $8.5 million.
Replace a goat with a goat.
Buffalo Bills
Let Baker bake.
signed wide receiver Trent Sherfield on a one-year deal. Zach Pascal, wide receiver, has agreed on a 2-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals.
Meh.
Raiders signed 3 players in one day: O.J. Howard, Jacquin Johnson, and Jordan Willis. Packers are re-signed Corey Ballantyne and Rudy Ford. Titans have signed former Bucs cornerback Sean Murphy Bunting. Roger Goodell was also apparently expected to finalize a multi-year contract extension to stay as
Way to go, Roger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just the highlights, man, and don't shoot the messenger. Keelan Cole is expected to re-sign with the Raiders. Dalton Schultz and Devin Singletary added on to the Texans in the same day. Schultz's deal is worth $9 million, and Singletary's $3.75.
Make the Cowboys worse.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, honestly, defensively, Houston is but offensively, Houston's looking kind of scary. They just need to get a quarterback, and they're going to get the second quarterback in the draft right after the Panthers take the first one.
Most likely C.J. Stroud if they Panthers take Bryce Young.
Or Bryce Young if the Panthers take C.J. Stroud, you know.
Yeah, it all depends on which
more
one.
Likely C.J. Stroud. It's what some people wanting right now. This is some of my friends I work with. They're Panthers are looking at Stroud.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on like each team's scheme fit, like which quarterback is going to fit that scheme the best for them. And I don't really know much about Stroud, but he kind of does seem to fit like the type they look for. Like
he's okay. I mean, as a Michigan fan, he's still a very good quarterback, but when he gets under pressure, he struggles. He struggles hard when he gets under pressure.
I see. All right, going back to the list. Josh Dobbs agreed to a 1-year contract with the Cleveland Browns to back up Deshaun Cosby. We've got Damian Harris signing with the Bills from the Patriots on a 1-year deal. Eagles agreed to a deal with Saints safety Justin Evans.
Yeah.
My boy Dante Hightower retired after a 9-year career with the team. Eagles also reached a deal with Nicholas Moreau. Oh, that one's
on the Bears.
Not listed about how long from the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think they have like the contract exactly out yet.
Yeah. Ronald Jones, running back, has agreed to a deal with the Cowboys. He's got to probably be the running back 2 behind Tony Pollard, assuming they don't.
They franchise.
Yeah, but that's non-exclusive. So, yeah. Steelers re-signed cornerback James Pierre. Carolina Panthers re-signed defensive lineman Henry Anderson. Saints are planning to sign Jonathan Abram, as it turns out, a former safety from the Raiders. Let's see. Patriots reached a revised deal with cornerback Jalen Mills, revising a 1-year, $6.1 million deal. Also could restructure him by moving him to safety. Browns re-signed free agent linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. Jaguars reached a deal with running back Dearness Johnson.
I don't know.
Let's see. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver McCole Hardman gone to the Jets on a 1-year deal.
think that's
And the last one was Elijah Moore going to Cleveland from the Jets. So
Why?
and I think that one was just worth a pick.
Yeah, I can't remember which you picked out.
Free agency is definitely starting to tone down, I think, a little, which is interesting.
With all the big fish gone, it doesn't surprise me
Yeah.
that's starting to.
I mean,
taper off.
Lamar is still a big fish, and there's still a lot of questions around that. So
There's another thing I was hearing on sports radio the other day. Lamar to New England. I'm going to say no to that.
when has Belichick ever had a mobile QB?
Cam Newton, but that doesn't count because he was already shot to
That was
shit.
bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
That was
Our
bad.
experiment with that did not. That experiment did not work out well. I don't see Lamar being any better.
How these idiots keep getting jobs because they don't throw picks and then take off the helmet and yell, "I'm back."
Well, with the Cam Newton, it was just a 1 year. They're like, okay, if we suck, we get a quarterback in the draft. If he was good, okay, maybe keep him. So it wasn't like oh my God, we're going to get this guy to go away. And it's all right, let's see what happens. All right, it didn't work. Fuck it.
Yeah.
That's basically what that was.
He was always going to be a bridge,
hard
especially
fall
in
from
the
grace from MVP, man. Such a
Injuries
hard
did
fall
not
from
help.
grace. Yeah, that
Injuries
too.
did not help.
Injuries never help.
Never. But in that case, that wraps up the Football Stooges XFL Week 5 wrap up, Week 6 prediction, free agency continuation, as well as the AFC East offseason grades. We hope you enjoyed. Make sure to follow this podcast or video wherever you find it. Leave us a comment on our YouTube channel if you want any questions answered. Enjoy XFL football. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, catch that game on Monday night. That is, for me, that must be a must-watch. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely
to
a
watch.
must-watch.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a must-watch.
At DC, the Roughnecks are coming to town. Wade Phillips is, coming off a loss. He ain't going to be happy. So make sure to watch that. Yep. Stay tuned for the Football Students. We'll get start prep on some more draft stuff. We'll take a look more into that. Might have some Mel Kiper impressions from K-Duff. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But for myself, for Masson, for Mamba, for Gerlami, and for K-Duff, thank you for attending the Football Stooges. Tune in next time when we hit you next week. And run the damn ball. Have a good night.
Make Lombardi proud, baby.
You're an ass. You're making me hang this. God damn it.